हेलो एवरीवन, कैसे हो आप सब? अच्छे से पढ़ रहे हो? ओके। सो आज का हमारा टॉपिक है प्लांट ग्रोथ एंड डेवलपमेंट। इसमें हम क्या पढ़ेंगे? 3 टर्म्स पढ़ेंगे। कौन कौन सी? डिफरेंशिएशन, डी डिफरेंशिएशन एंड रीडिफरेंशिएशन। ओके, तो ये हम 3 टर्म्स पढ़ेंगे। ओके, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इज डिफरेंशिएशन। व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय डिफरेंशिएशन? बेसिकली इसमें क्या होता है, जैसे मेरिस्टेमेटिक सेल्स हैं, राइट? मेरिस्टेमेटिक सेल्स हैं, मेरिस्टम है। मेरिस्टम कैसे सेल्स होते हैं? जो डिवाइड करेंगे, सेल डिवीज़न फेज में है। सेल डिवाइड क्यों करता है? वाई? टू इंक्रीज द नंबर, टू इंक्रीज सेल नंबर। ठीक है, बट क्या होगा आफ्टर सम टाइम they lose their capacity to divide, to become mature, to gain their specific function. Ultimately cell divide to increase their number, but they have also have to gain some specific function na, to perform specific function. To perform specific function they lose their capacity to divide, becoming mature. So that is differentiation. Cells lose their capacity. In differentiation, in the phase of differentiation, cells lose their capacity to divide, means cells stop dividing. After that they gain their particular function. For example, xylem, right? Xylem has specific function. They help in the transfer of water and sometimes minerals, right? Main function is to transportation of water, right? So xylem, we can say xylem is a differentiated tissue. Why? Because they have specific function, right? They are matured. So that is a differentiation. Differentiated cell is a cell which lose their capacity to divide, stop dividing, they become mature and they gain a particular or specific function. Okay, मेरिस्टेमेटिक सेल्स मीन्स डिवीजन सेल्स, क्योंकि मेरिस्टेमेटिक सेल्स दे हैव कैपेसिटी टू डिवाइड, बट दे बिकम डिफरेंशिएट एंड मैच्योर टू परफॉर्म स्पेसिफिक फंक्शन. जो मेरिस्टेमेटिक सेल्स हैं वो दे स्टार्ट बिकमिंग मैच्योर और डिफरेंशिएटेड टू दैट टू परफॉर्म स्पेसिफिक फंक्शन. बिकमिंग मैच्योर बनने के लिए वो क्या करते हैं? स्पेसिफिक फंक्शन लेते हैं, राइट? However, there are some structural changes in the cell wall and the protoplasm. जो cell wall है और protoplasm है, इनमें कुछ specific structural changes आते हैं. क्या क्या आते हैं? For example, first is trachea element. This is basically element found in the xylem, vascular part, xylem. Cell would lose their protoplasm. Basically, in the process of becoming mature or differentiated, the trachea elements cells lose their protoplasm. They lose their protoplasm. That is the first structural change, that they lose their protoplasm. Next is cell wall. Cell wall become rigid, strong, elastic and lignocellulosic. Basically cell wall is made up of lignin and plus cellulose. That's why it is called as lignocellulosic, means presence of lignin and cellulose. And it helps in the carry water to long distance, because to transport water from root to the upper stem level, higher level stems have a high length, right? To transport to long distance they need a rigid or strong structure, that is a cell wall, right? Next is dedifferentiation. When a mature cell or differentiated cells lose their specific function, they lose their specific function and regain their capacity to divide. They start dividing again after differentiation. After maturation they start dividing again. That is dedifferentiation. मतलब जो डिफरेंशिएशन हुआ था वो फिर से मेरिस्टेमेटिक बन गया, फिर से सेल डिवीजन स्टार्ट हो गई. The living differentiated cells regain their capacity of division. okay, restart their cell division, that is a dedifferentiation. एंड इसमें पर्टिकुलर एग्जाम्पल पाए जाते हैं, फॉर एग्जाम्पल इंटरफेसिकुलर कैम्बियम एंड कॉर्क कैम्बियम. ओके, these are mainly two example. First is interfascicular cambium and next is cork cambium. They fully differentiate to form parenchyma cell. Both these cells fully differentiate, become fully completely डिवीज़न स्टार्ट कर देते हैं और उसमें फिर क्या बनाते हैं अल्टीमेटली पैरेन्काइमा सेल्स. नेक्स्ट इज रीडिफरेंशिएशन. After dedifferentiation, after regain their capacity to start the division, again they lose their capacity to divide. Again they gain their specific or particular function and becoming mature. That is, meristematic or tissue once again lose their capacity to divide. इसमें क्या होता है, जो टिश्यूज़ डिडिफरेंशिएट हुए थे they again lose their capacity to divide. They become mature to perform specific function, becoming mature. That is redifferentiation. Here is a summarization. First is meristematic cell, that can be root apical meristem, shoot apical meristem. They have to become mature. For that they lose their capacity to divide and get some particular function, that is called as differentiation. But after that some cells or some tissue, they regain their capacity to divide. They start dividing again to gain basically to becoming mature or to get a different function. Okay, that is a dedifferentiation. They again start dividing. Next is a redifferentiation. In this they again, after dedifferentiation, they again lose their capacity to divide. Like here also they lose their capacity to divide, but they are meristematic. But here they are dedifferentiated. That is the main difference between differentiation and redifferentiation. They redifferentiate होते हैं, again lose their capacity to divide, gain a specific function to becoming mature. That is redifferentiation. This is also a diagram. Here is a meristematic cells, root apical, shoot apical meristem, where they will divide to increase cell number or for growth, plant growth, to increase the length of the stem, to form particular water transport system, yeah, food transport system, yeah, another many functions. That to that they have to divide, cell division. After division they form new cells, but new cells have to become mature. For that they stop dividing and gain particular function, that is called as differentiator cells. After that some tissues, not all, dedifferentiation is not for all the cell. There are specific tissues that undergo dedifferentiation, right? What do you mean by dedifferentiation? They regain their capacity to divide and lose their specific function that are gained during the differentiation phase. That is dedifferentiation. Okay, next is redifferentiation. They again lose their capacity to divide, gain their specific function and becoming mature. So that is the three terms: differentiation, dedifferentiation and redifferentiation. They always occur in a series. First will differentiate, then will dedifferentiate and then will redifferentiate. But dedifferentiate and redifferentiation is not for every cell. There are particular cells that will go differentiation and there will be particular cells that will undergo redifferentiation. Not for all, but yes, differentiated all cells ultimately become up to all cells become differentiated cells. Okay, so this is all. That is all for today. ओके, ध्यान से इसको देख लेना. थैंक यू सो मच.